Yeah, that looks all right.
Looks
actually.
appetising.
Yeah, it does look appetising. Yeah, we're a bit different this week than last week, isn't it, with the couple of pints there?
We'll explain that on air. G'day,
Yeah.
welcome to the mailbag for Kingston Town Classic Week. Terry Leighton, it's good to be
Good to
have
be
you
back.
And look, we've taken a little change of tack this week. There's no more nectar of the gods in goats. We've opted for something a little bit healthier with, well, I've only got 3 shots in here, so that's okay.
Voss water.
Oh, exactly. Delicious.
It's not vodka, unfortunately.
But look,
Fortunately, actually. I think the body needs a break, Peter.
yeah, we've had a few big weeks and doctor's orders, I think, for the most part, at least until Saturday, and then we'll fire right back up again. Because it's a pretty
100%.
decent card.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
As a
I am
betting
too.
card, it's probably my favourite of all 3 days thus far. So I'm very excited about what's to come.
We've got Rail True. Any expected track pattern for the day?
Oh, Rail True suggests on pace bias, but there's a southwesterly in, and the temperature drops. The weather gods have looked after us for a big day on the punt. It's been 40 degrees all week, and we're mad sitting out here right now.
We are.
But it's only going to be 27 with a southwesterly, and that tends to mean you can make some ground. So I wouldn't be thinking just exclusively leaders, but I'd monitor the first few and not be afraid to change tack as the day progresses.
Yeah, certainly the first couple you might get away with a few more up front, that's for sure.
Yeah, that tends to be the pattern.
Race 5 through 9 we'll preview today. We'll start off with race 5, which is the, it's a group race, listed race?
Listed. Yeah, the listed Lee-Steere.
The Lee-Steere Classic.
For all those 3-year-olds not going to the Kingston and dropping back to the 1400.
So map will come up. We'll also do the synthetic hold, which is the best available price as of right now. Anything for yourself to kick us off in race 5?
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on one here, Pete. I think Massimo is gone up a little bit under the odds. Tends to drift most starts in betting, but that aspect of it doesn't really bother me so much. I said this earlier on the 1-1 pod.
Yep.
Cast. I said this earlier that I would have tipped, and it should be going to the Kingston Town, Santa Brianna in the Kingston Town. So if you think I'm going to tip a horse in a Kingston Town in a Group 1, I'm probably going to have it on top in a listed race here. The amount of work she did last start in the Champions Fillies to go forward, then take cover, then had to get out and hit the line again. Her run was better than Tuscan Queen. I don't care what anyone says. She doesn't lose this horse race if she replicates that run. The issue is from this stable, she needs to replicate that run. So real keen Santa Brianna at about $5.
I actually found the same horse purely off the fact that it is the only horse to have produced a really strong figure at the 1400 at Ascot, and for me that was the key thing.
Did you see that race as well?
Yeah.
3-4 deep the trip,
Yeah,
no
exactly.
cover.
So look, I was happy to have Santa Brianna, and look, I thought as well, really huge odds for a Saracen White horse, although Peter Hall's riding it. Special Bow 40-1 didn't really have any joy at all last start. It does have a starting price over a couple of the weaker horses in this field, but I thought off its previous runs, it had only been in slowly run races. I was prepared to just give it a small sniff at 40-1. So
Nah.
that's the way I'll be playing that race. You're just straight back.
Yeah,
back
no,
over
I'm
the
sorry, I can't even. No, you found We've Got Dreams last week, like, didn't you, though?
In the
I
yard.
believe. Yeah, in the yard you did. So if you can find that, then
Yeah.
you can find anything.
That's the beauty of it. Race 6 we'll move to, which is again, I can't even remember what any of these races are called.
Jungle Dawn.
That's it.
Jungle Miss, Jungle Dawn, Latrice next. I don't know.
something
We'll
like
worry
that.
about that in time.
Yeah, look, it's the classic. Markets will be coming up. We've got Electric Light, pretty short favourite. Was a really nice win last start.
It's a nice win. Race panned out. Well for
Yeah,
her.
yeah, it was suited. Beautiful Mind was the horse that it beat, and Beautiful Mind's second favourite. Are you going to have any sort of investment in race 6, first leg of the quad?
Yeah, I am actually. I'm pretty keen on Beautiful Mind from a speed map point of view. I think she either leads or lets Snow Chino come across and take up the running. And I think up to the 1400. People will think Electric Light might be susceptible.
Yep.
I don't think she's susceptible, but I think Pikey has to ride her a little bit more circumspect just to utilise that finishing burst, which means he probably just has to jag her. Or I don't see a 3-wide line there. There shouldn't be a 3-wide line, but I'm talking about Perth racing, so we'll probably see a 5-wide line in a 10-horse field here. But I just think Beautiful Mind gets the head start on her, and while she's not rated anywhere near her, she's a progressive horse who will go through the grades.
Yeah.
So pretty keen. If you can get near 4-1 Beautiful Mind, that's another one I'm pretty bullish on actually, Pete.
Well, I think Dean Yendall sticking he's coming back across for this week, and I think it's one of those cases where I think he's probably targeting a few horses, especially for Lindsay Smith. So I think that was the one that made logical sense. I wasn't particularly keen to play at any of the early prices in this race, I must say.
460.
Yeah.
Beautiful Mind was up yesterday. I
Yep.
marked her 320.
Yep.
But yeah,
I think it's what 320 now, so
That's thin.
340.
That's thin.
Probably
That's thin.
short enough. So yeah, not really a race I'm keen to play in at this stage. You could probably make a small case for Perfect Jewel if it's ridden with intent to sit a little bit closer. If it gets through back the fence, I don't really think that's going to be ideal. And Snow Chino doesn't really have a record at the track, but not necessarily tested either. If it is one of those days where it is panning out to be on speed, it may well get its things in its favour over the 1400. So
100%.
no, just I'll wait and see how the day is panning out before jumping into race 6. Race 7 on the card is the AJ Scahill over 1400 metres.
for age conditions.
Indeed. And Flirtini is now very short indeed. Best price available is $2.20.
That's thin.
Yep.
That's thin. Really like her here, but no way I'm taking anything below $3 on a horse running the split she did last week in the Winterbottom. Disappointing you on scratch because it couldn't win this race.
Yeah.
It was taking 15% of your
Yep.
market. So there's nothing worse than a bad scratching or a bad deduction in as a punter, I find. No real strong opinion here, Pete. Think that Wrinkly and Barracky Beats will go mad, set it up, and I'm pretty sure Stageman and Flirtini will be the two flooding home for a Maddie if they're getting up on the fence. The Celt from 3 back the fence could be one, but at weight for age, the two good horses. But at those prices, I want either $4.50 Stageman or $3 Flirtini. I'd happily back a Drifter.
It's a nasty little race, and when you're looking at it, I mean, Flirtini's obviously been settling back. It's gate 6. You'd think they'd probably settle a little bit closer on Saturday, more towards that midfield position. Yeah, I mean, look, Wrinkly wasn't suited last start. Again, if it is a race or a day where leaders are getting things in its favour, it could be a little speculative bet. I agree with the Celt. Ran a really good figure first up there. Just whether or not it can reproduce it at the distance, that's probably the small query for me. Yeah, I'm not really keen to play. I thought Flirtini on a lot of the data metrics looked very much suited, stepping up to 1400. Only has the one try at the distance so far for a second.
Beat home Arcadia Queen that day,
exactly.
I believe. So
look,
I steal your thunder, did I?
No, that's all right. I'll play on. But look, that's the way that I sort of found them, but not really keen to play. As you said, $2.20 doesn't look skinny enough.
Not at the prices, no interest.
All right, let's get to the main event, Kingston Town Classic, over 1800 metres. Group 1. Now, I must say I've got early prices Tuscan Queen each way, so I'm viewing this a little bit differently in terms of if I didn't have that bet on.
Oh, you
what would I
can't
be
do that.
thinking?
Well, I think most people have got. Most people I
Something,
speak to,
yeah.
you seem to have Tuscan Queen something early.
Yep.
I'm a rare one that doesn't. The futures are usually somewhere I like to. Well, I rate myself pretty highly. Not that I ever do, Peter, as you're aware. But I can't even keep a straight face there.
Nope.
But I loaded Windstorm as the pick of
Yeah.
the ones early, as I've probably made very clear. So that's a shame because Tuscan Queen wasn't far behind him, but. Clearly the one to beat. Obviously, I hope Dig Deep runs a big race and we'll settle a lot closer. And I think he'll be a bit fresher this week than he was in the Guineas in a race that wasn't run to suit. But Tuscan Queen for me, Peter. What price have you got?
Oh, look, I thought $3.50, $4 was probably about right.
Yeah.
We're into under $3 now, or probably just on $3. I think when I last had a quick squiz, but
I think she's unbeatable, Pete.
yeah, I mean, should get every favour from the gate. Don't think she'll get too far back. Really looks like the step up in distance will be very much suitable. And over some of the main contenders, which I had pinned as, say, being KC's done absolutely nothing wrong so far this preparation, but KC is likely going to either be behind it, possibly buried. Pike might even be able to stay off the fence here because he's got a horse like KC drawn on the inside. Best of days, I think, will roll forward. He may very well be able to just sit on the outside of KC, or he can just put himself onto the fence. The other
I think
thing,
she'll be in the first 6, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think she'll be about 6.
I think I'm not anticipating high speed in this race.
It's all coming from the Eastern States coming
and that's
across,
it.
isn't
But
it?
Gallo Chop being ridden by John Allen is not necessarily a super aggressive front-running jockey. So if he finds the front, he's probably just going to dawdle along in front as it is.
Yeah, okay.
Pacadeli probably on the outside of it. Velvet King will probably roll forward. I'm not sure they'll lead like they did in the railway. But and as a result, Tally and Gadding probably just float across, and they might be able to slot in, they might not. So horses like Best of Days and Dig Deep, Tuscan Queen, they'll try and use the gates to their advantage, I'm sure. And then you've just got a whole series of horses that are just going to be out the back there and really needing the right tempo up front to suit. So I think Tuscan Queen really does look suited here.
Yeah, she stands out to me massively. I think if you are looking for some value in this race, I'd look to some of the other 3-year-olds. I really do believe it's just a completely 3-year-old orientated race. Dig Deep and Jericho Missile have been carrying 59 basically their entire campaigns in the Fareeth of the Belgravia. They won't know themselves with 52. They won't know themselves on. This is going to be a more genuine speed than the Guineas.
Yep. Well, it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, these are two horses that simply just won't know themselves with a genuine speed, especially dig deep drawing a barrier. So yeah, not impossible, but I think Tuscan Queen's a low $2 chance, Peter.
I think I'll be chopping out in Best of Days. I think that's probably the best of the older horses
By
in
a
this
long way.
field.
By a long way.
That run in the railway was impressive from a position that I don't think was particularly suitable. I think they'll try and use the gate to their advantage here, and then see how they roll. But
along with Gadding, the best weighted runner as well from the railway.
Gadding's just got that slightly sticky gate, and he ended up way too far back in the run of the railway.
Yeah, Mitch was a bit stiff. He just got shuffled back on a little bit, but I still don't think he's quite going as well as he was when he won the Group 1 over race.
I would agree with that.
Lucy, last time she rode him, though, did win.
Yep. He does appreciate a kinder rider, I think, the old Cranks. All right, we'll have a look at the last. It's a benchmark 66 over 2100, and that's exactly what I like to see as race 9 on a
Christ,
card.
yeah.
Interesting race once again. In terms of overall speed, who knows with some of these staying races? We've seen it go both ways so many times over the 2100 at Ascot. I'm just going to have a small Specky McGee in the last race on a couple of horses. One's going to be 23 red and the other's going to be high energy.
Yeah, I can see high energy. I can see where you're coming from.
Blinkers on, Yendel jumping on. Gate 1 should save up a fair bit of ground. I think it'll sit midfield. Thought it was a really nice little run there last start. That's the way I'll be playing.
Yeah, look, this is a race where I wanted to find some value, Peter, but I simply couldn't. I think British Bessie's last 200 7 days ago was probably one of the runs of the day, on a day where it was really hard to make ground. I really like how Clint Johnston-Porter's riding at the moment.
He's come back really well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and I think he's a jockey you can trust on a sit and sprinter. Yep. I don't trust too many on sit and sprinters. Around the $4 mark, I think, yeah, he should be favourite over Sentimental Gift, but obviously concerns with Pikey, but not a big investment to finish the day, but definitely something on British Bessie in the last beat.
British Bessie was about 15 wide, I think, on the turn coming around the corner there last start.
Was absolutely motored the line. That was back to the 1800 too, far better suited up to a journey.
Exactly right. Anything else that stands out on the card? We'll run through best bets, we'll run through callers, we'll run through chubbies.
We got a best bet. This might not just be the best bet of the day. It's definitely the best bet of the month.
Yep.
Actually, it's definitely the best bet of the year.
I think it's the best value.
There's nine years of this decade has now
Ascot,
gone.
Yeah.
You're with me here, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
9 years of this decade have gone. It could be the best of the decade. I'll get back to you. The Naconian.
Yep.
$7 each way all day. You don't even need to back it each way, but I'm going to put me small boy pants on. It will go to the front. Last start, I mean, we all saw what happened to it last start. Getting take it on at ridiculous speed, getting a horse crossing it before, Fire and Rain crossing it before. It had even had the clear room to do so. Stopped on it. For him to pick up again and find the line again, I think this horse is flying. Steve won't hand up here. He'll roll along. Yep. Caracapo and Rebel Knight will probably come late, but I think Steve will be off and gone with the rail at the true position. And this is my best of. This is my best for a long time. Since Stunt Range won the 2012, don't quote me on that, Kalgoorlie Cup. It's my best since then, Peter.
I'll take your word for it. It's very reminiscent of a race where the Naconian was heavily backed, same track, same distance. There was a late scratching of a horse that escapes me, but basically the price hemorrhaged. I think it was about $6 into $3.80 or something at the jump.
Did In Love with Paris run second in this race?
I think so.
Railway Stakes Day last year? Yeah, I've actually referenced that. Yep.
So it just stands out. The other thing was, we were basically talking about this before we started filming, punters. It was...
We're excited.
The inside pad on that day, no one won going up the fence. It's basically stayed hard fence, still made that ground late. The fitness was right there. Horse paraded perfect. Can't see it going backwards. Just needs to be rolling forward. And I'm still anticipating by race 4, you would want to be settling on speed. So for me, I agree. Clearly the best at the price, and it's just outstanding value.
Yeah.
Cooler?
Yeah, we need to stop talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You go first with the cooler, Pete. I wasn't prepared today.
Look, the cooler, I want to take on Sentimental Gift in the last, I think just at the price it's short enough. And I mean, look, it does tick a few boxes, but at the same time, there's probably other $3 shots that William Pike's sitting on that I'd rather be with than Sentimental Gift.
I'll take on Massimo.
Yep.
I'll take on Massimo at the shorts. I just really, really like Santa Brianna as a horse, which is a starting point. But from 6, I think there's a big chance widespread comes across and Santa Brianna could even kick up, Lavrod could kick up. Massimo's a chance of being caught deep here. So first go at the 1400, the stable, the jockey, they love the horse. But at under even money or even around the even money mark, I'd be happy to lay the big fella for a little bit.
Anything at odds of 20 to 1 or over for a chubby bet going wide?
Nothing mad, but probably the 2 3-year-olds I mentioned in the Kingston Town in Dig Deep and Jericho Missile at about 25 and 35 to 1. Just don't think those type of horses who have been dominating and the star 3-year-olds in a race dominated by 3-year-olds should be at those quotes. So they're the 2 I'd be having something small on.
And I'll throw out 23 red in the last.
Okay.
The Bullet Craig Staples.
The
and
Bullet.
Reece Radford. Just put it in and just...
Yeah,
Right,
no, I can see it. I can see it, 100%. Good name as well if you end up at the casino later in the night, Pete, which I'm sure we wouldn't do.
No, I've got to behave.
Have to behave, yeah. I've been saying that for 10 years, Pete.
There's 20-something days of Christmas left, and you know what that means.
Yeah.
All the eggnog and fruit mince pies laced with alcohol that you can enjoy.
Go straight to the belly.
Exactly, that's why we're dishing up coffee and water today.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We're talking absolute dribble now, Pete.
We are.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it there. It's been outstanding to have you on for the previews. Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. I loved it.
And look, ideally, we'll be back next week to do a deep dive into the carnival, review the carnival,
Perfect.
go through the major races, the betting fluctuations, what it means for WA racing, and we'll probably leave it there because we might have a few other bombs to drop on the day. So until then, Terry,
Thank you very much, Pete.
Punters, go well.
Good luck.